All right, gang. Top of the hour, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for those on the Pacific Coast that woke up early with us. I'm here with my partner in crime, Drew Gatton. He is our product manager that made all of this dreams a reality, along with our engineering team. Start today with a shout out to Jeff Bezos, who eloquently said 50% of everyone's job is bullshit. And what he's referring to is he called it overhead, tasks that you have to do. And for our accounting friends out there, overhead is stuff that you have to have, doesn't necessarily have a direct impact, but you can't avoid it. You got to do it. And so everyone here, as you think about it, man, I wish I could spend more time with my drivers. I wish I could spend more time thinking about safety, being a true risk manager. And what we want to show today is how can we eliminate some of that bullshit, the tasks that you have to do, so you can get out there and give more love. And so the whole idea here is AI is getting a rap is, well, we're going to lose the personal touch. And depending on how you use it, that is true. And what we're here to say is here's how to properly use it so that you can give a better personal touch. So you can go out and hang out with more drivers, so you can reduce risk and make the roads a safer place. Because compliance is not safety. Yet you generally have the same person or people focused on both of those tasks. So we want to help you get through that BS so you can make the roads a safer place. So I'm gonna start today by framing up what is AI good at? It's really good at automation, prediction, and personalization. So quick examples from the outside world, and we're using those as how can we bring those into transportation? So automation, the problem that Domino's looked to solve was people getting the wrong pizza. You order pepperoni, you don't get pepperoni, you're a sad customer. They wanted to solve that problem. And who was in charge of that? Some 18-year-old making $10 an hour. Okay, how can we solve that? So someone did math and said, I think AI is cheaper than pissing people off and getting one-star reviews because there wasn't pepperoni on my pizza. So what they're able to do is match the receipt to reading the pizza as it comes out of the oven. And if there's an error, it throws a flag on the play for that 18-year-old to go address it so we don't ship a bad pizza. Pretty cool. Prediction. I'm a proud young father. I have a 7-month-old and a 2.5-year-old. Thank the Lord, he is going to the bathroom in a potty now, but the 7-month-old is not. And so Friday nights, I used to go to the bar as a young lad. I don't do that anymore, y'all. I spend Friday nights at home with my lovely children and wife. What does that mean? I need beer, and I need it at my house. And usually when I'm at Target at 10 p.m., I realize, oh no, I don't have any beer, and I go buy it. Well, they saw me and a bunch of dads like me by looking at a bunch of receipts and went, well, that's a weird pattern. Why is diapers with beer? Going back to, I'm not going to the bar anymore. And so prediction, what they did was said, well, dads who are sleep deprived, what if we put beer out there next to the diapers? What would happen? Turns out beer sales go up by 10% if you put beer next to diapers. Interesting pattern.
Scott, I got one on the way in August. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, it's good. Thank you, AI, right?
Yeah, right.
Prediction. Personalization. Looking for patterns that humans can't see. So logical things. There is a story about a 14-year-old girl who is at Target with her dad. The Target, as I'm sure you've all been there, printed out some receipts and says, hey, here's some coupons and stuff you've bought previously or you might want to buy. And usually look at those and go, yeah, that's about right. And so this one was for diapers for a 14-year-old girl, and the dad did not like that. What are you doing, Target, suggesting my 14-year-old daughter needs diapers? Turns out she had bought a pregnancy test a couple weeks ago and then bought prenatal vitamins. What comes next is diapers. So the Target algorithm knew that the daughter was pregnant before dad did, and he had to go give that algorithm an apology. And so personalization, we're just sharing the power of personalization, prediction, automation. So Drew and I have been thinking about this, and we thought, well, what can we bring to transportation? Well, we didn't want to go around with the AI hammer looking for a nail. And so what is AI not good at is highly specialized FMCSA tasks. And it can still be overconfident. What I have here is an AI generated image of a man who's in a library, so he seems pretty smart, but he's a little drunk. He's just a little overconfident in himself and the answers. And I'd like to have Drew tell a story about what he found with Gemini this week.
Yeah, so all the news about AI, the language models that are out there in the marketplace today, they're moving at breakneck speed. And when we were kind of doing the dry run for this presentation, Google actually announced their new model. It's at the top of the charts. It's the best of the best. And we said, well, hey, let's plug in a medical card in there and see if it can tell us if it's compliant or not. And it came back and it said, this medical card is compliant. It was very confident, Scott.
And it showed all the thinking that had done to make that assessment.
It walked us through the reg. It did all that. It skipped a critical step though, and that was it didn't go out and verify that the medical examiner was in fact listed. And so we asked it again, are you sure? And then it admitted it was a little overconfident maybe in its last response. And it told us, hey, you go look that up for me. So it almost got us there. It was pretty sweet, but not quite.
That's it. And I did it later that night because I was curious and I got a different answer. And I think that's it. Think about AI as a pretty smart guy that might have had one too many and then is going to give you an answer whether he's sure about it or not. He's going to act like he's sure. So be careful.
Does that work in a compliance world?
It sure does not. Compliance people, can you be pretty close to confident and pretty close to right? No, you cannot. And you guys know the consequences of that. So that's what AI is not good at, but it's a powerful tool. So how can we harness that? How can we put guardrails so that you can be more effective? We want to make you a superhuman. Maybe Joe, I don't know, for our sports fans out there, like PEDs, right? Performance enhancing drugs. That's what you want to be, a super person managing compliance. You can go be safety. So why now? What do these three letters mean? OCR, optical character recognition. It's been around for a while, since the 90s, eh?
Since the 90s.
So it's been a thing. What is different now in 2025 since the 90s, Mr. Drew?
Language models. You can take unstructured data from reading a document with a computer, been around since the 90s, but now we can ask questions of that unstructured data. So historically, if you were a large healthcare system, if you were a huge company, you could standardize all your paperwork. We in the transportation space don't have that benefit. Some documents like medical cards are standardized, but the vast majority, Scott, every state's got a different flavor of license. Everything's a little bit different. The driver sat on it, spilled coffee on this one. We can't guarantee it'll be the same. The combination of being able to run OCR on the documents that people are bringing into Driver Hub and language models to ask questions of those documents, we're able to actually bring out the insights. So things like expiration dates, things like, is this medical examiner, what is their number so we can go look it up. We'll get more into that, but this is the why now.
The prompting that someone as dumb as me can ask a simple question and get the results from it.
We can pass the intern test.
Correct.
Yep.
Right. So OCR plus LM is why now. And one other piece is it's been around in big industries. Motor carriers, bus and truck companies, you're important to us, but to the large market, you're actually a small market transportation to the big people throwing around big types of money. So this has really democratized what's been available in larger industries and markets. So now we have a word of caution to not be a Luddite. And so for Drew, what was this, 5th grade, high school history? I don't know, I was sleeping.
I think it's AP US government. Everybody knows about the Luddites.
All right, the Luddites. The Luddites were some folks in England back in the 19th century, and they saw technology as taking away their jobs. A lot of them were in, what were they doing, Drew? They were making cotton things. They were on sweaters.
Yeah, the loom was invented. There you go.
Yeah, some mills. And they saw that as taking their jobs and threats, and so they got angry. And I guess in the irony, they used tools to break tools. But they liked their hand tools and they didn't want their jobs to get taken by machines. When it turns out if they were actually embraced it to be more productive, they would have actually made more because they would have been able to make more, export it to various other cities, not just their little corner of England. And so that's our word of caution to you is please don't put your head in the sand on this one. And please do not throw a hammer through your laptop to hit Gemini or ChatGPT. You can use it. It will make you better. Again, with the caution that it is a guy that's had one too many cocktails at the bar. So that's our word of caution. Don't be a Luddite. So now, as we think about what problems can we go solve in transportation, what we hear across resounding board, regardless of department you're in, is you have too many jobs. You're in a small, and it's all the people that are producing revenue are behind the wheel, and we have small support staffs behind the scenes, as small as possible, to keep those people running. And so that results in you having too many jobs. So in compliance land, ideally, we'd have a person doing all of these things, working with recruiting, giving the thumbs up, thumbs down, building the driver qualification file, managing all the expiration dates thereafter. An incident happened, managing that. Are we submitting it to a claims insurance company? Want to be a little strategic? How can we prevent those claims or incidents from happening? Let's have chats with drivers to prevent those. And we have to deal with insurance renewals every year. And everything rolls downhill in safety also. But for the sake of time, I have saved 30 other jobs that you all do. In reality, it's one person, and that person's Steve, and Steve is doing everything. And so, and you might have a person or two to help you out, but this is the reality of your life. And so the question is, ideally, you would go hire a specialist, but you have a catch-22. The revenue's not there to do it. Help, the cavalry's not coming. So problems we thought, what are really the big problems we could help you solve? And as we sat through orientations, we go, man, that's a whole bunch of paperwork and policies and manuals. It's not giving people a big hug. We see y'all out there spending more time than we think you should be doing this data entry, reconciling spreadsheets to systems, to who's available. And then when it comes to record herding, you're a cat herder.
Well said.
That's record herding is a new verb, but I think that's exactly what you all are up to. Also, thank you, Gemini 2.5, for this lovely image. So the solution, you need an assistant, but I don't think your boss is going to go get you an assistant. So we're going to give you a robot. That's the avatar assistant that can give you half a day back. And this is one, I think you believe he's on the call today. Evan, thank you so much for summarizing this thought that he put his finger in the wind and he said, yeah, it saves about a half a body based on automating all the silliness. And it's 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 20 minutes here. And when I say silliness, again, it's stuff you have to do that you can do with your eyes closed. You can do it blindfolded, all these tasks, but they're disjointed. And when they add up, there's your day. And so Evan's saying, if I can get half a day back, and my favorite part about this is the challenge, because he and other people have told me, I'm not going to go fire someone. So there's no savings here. The only reason this makes sense is if you're going to go do something better with your time. So that's really your question is, if you had half a day back, what would you do with it? And so we're going to propose some ideas here. But before we do that, we're going to show you what's available to get half a day back. So things we see out there, and Drew, you and I have been studying safety people and compliance people. And what we see, a really big issue is syncing rosters between the 6 systems. That's an average of what we see out there between dispatch, payroll, telematics providers, CSA, MVR monitoring, your HR stuff. And when that happens is, I think someone I met at the UMA show elegantly put in a user group was, typing name, phone number, address, and email in 6 systems really sucks. And Ben, I couldn't agree more if you're on the call. And so what we're looking at is how can we sync that? How can we eliminate that? Because these are easy things to do, but the consequences are high. And this is a story from someone we met before we started working with them, that the nice lady that was in charge of doing data entry accidentally fat fingered a 0 and an O. Take a look at your keyboard. They're right next to each other. Pretty simple thing to do. The consequence was that driver didn't get paid for 30 days because a 0 and an O was mixed up and nobody could figure out why. No one saw the difference. So it's these little things that cause big impact, and you get them right most of the time, but most of the time isn't acceptable when it's getting someone's paycheck going out the door.
Yeah. So my takeaways there, Scott, highly repeatable actions are ripe for automation.
Highly repeatable. Another one, alerting drivers. Hey, your license is expiring. Hey, your license is expiring. Hey, your license is expiring. That cat herding that y'all have to do. So what we're proposing is those 3 problems can go away. That's what we're going to propose today. We're going to show you a little bit about what that looks like. So let's set the stage. When a driver is applying, our friends in compliance land, you get them downstream from recruiting or your HR business partners. And so your job is to make sure that all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. And I'm a recovering recruiter, and I can speak about us. Details aren't always our thing. We try really hard, but we're just trying to get them going and get people in the door. And so you need to make sure to say, hey, not so fast there, cowboy. Let's make sure we got the details right. And some things I know from my recruiting days is I want to know, where do they live, the driver? I want to know endorsements, and I want to know some experience. Those are kind of the key. And then you've got your special stuff. Well, a lot of that information is available on the license. How many times you talk to someone, if there's any recruiting people out there, that doesn't have a CDL? Not worth your time. Right, I've been hearing from the market, 75% of them just need to go right to the garbage bin. And so start there, ask for that early. The other benefit is if you ask for the license early, these are things the driver used to type in, my name, my address. my license, my endorsements. What if the driver took a picture of it and the avatar assistant typed them in? Let's show what that looks like. Drew, how do I do set the stage?
Beautiful, Scott.
Okay, so I'm a candidate now. I am gotten through I've showed my interest. I found y'all on Indeed, a referral. I hit the career site. Something got me here. And now I'm at the section of upload my license. Of which I'm going to do by taking a picture. And I have today an image. And if you're saying, Scott, that image looked a little fuzzy. Exactly. And we see this a lot, right? So we thought, how could we fix that problem? Anyone out there have some fuzzy images? And so if the idea is we can hit the driver sooner, they're going to have an opportunity to make that correction. So if I hit replace image, because I've got that feedback right away. All right, let me get that glare off my phone. Awesome. Now I got a quick message that says we're looking good. So let's take a look. Here's our fake person. I'm a card holder. It's read the birthday, the address, the state. Pretty cool, huh?
Not bad. And Scott, this is our system live, real time.
Real time. So there's all the endorsements. These are all things I used to have to type as a driver. Now I'm verifying. And so that is there, that is entered, that is saved. And now I hit the back because for our states out there where they put some endorsements on the back, you've got the ability to capture that.
And Scott, let's double click on that. If you want to go back up and hit the edit button,
Sure.
Let's show off those endorsements. So obviously this is a fake license, but in the state of California, if you scroll up to the restrictions, they might have had special restrictions. So we're actually bringing those in on a state by state basis. We're in Ohio right now, but I used to live in New York. New York's got a laundry list, pretty long. We bring those over. So we speak DOT, we speak first class, these are objects that you're dealing with every day. That's the secret sauce of our applicant tracking system.
Drew and his cronies are studying your state's restrictions and endorsements, right? Summarizing that so we know where you are and what's relevant to you.
That's what I do on a Friday night now. I can't wait to drink beer.
And changing a poopy diaper is better than reading DMV regulations. You'll let me know. So I'll hit save, and now I have that submitted. So, the old medical card, that tees up the next section. So what we've done over the last quarter was we've done this just shy of 3,000 times, and we've had 86% of the time zero typing. So when I say zero typing, I'm meaning what I just showed you from the driver's side, zero corrections, meaning the driver's reviewed and said yes, and zero corrections from your side in compliance. So let me show you what that looks like. So now I'm on the compliance manager side of Driver Hub. And this is my candidate, John Lennon, who I am currently looking at reviewing to see if he's a good fit for our organization. And as I come here to this stage of driver's license, what just happened that quickly, and that was a real-time thinking, is it just read on this side here, it read the license detail from this sheet, from this license, right? I got front, back here that he uploaded, complete with the restrictions and endorsements for his state. And once I review that, which I see, okay, license, yep, that looks good. No touch. That now goes into the driver qualification file, which here we are. Here's all the things that I have captured from Mr. Lynn along the way. So just to bring it all the way home, right? There's the license, there's the front, there's the back, and I've got the detail right here in the record profile. So when I come back to this page, when we say zero typing, that's what I'm referring to, right? I didn't type anything along the way. That was all mouse clicks or finger clicks on my phone for the driver and for you. Drew, anything I missed?
No, I think just bringing it home, driver send in their license. We caught them right up front. Hey, that was a little fuzzy. Backtrack there, buddy. Let's go again. We got it accurate. Now it's something you can actually review from a compliance or recruiting standpoint. Does this person have the endorsements that I need? You created the license, and without typing or lifting a finger to type, we put the expiration date on that license so that you can automate that outreach to the driver when it's time for them to refresh.
So registry, national registry. Problems will we solve? One, you're back in the cat herding business. Come on, driver, I need that medical card. You need to go take action, Mr. and Mrs. Driver. You need to go to the the medical examiner. And sometimes people respond to a text, sometimes they respond to an email or a phone call. Sometimes you have to hide behind the photocopier and snag them when they come in and pay dispatch $20 to send them your way. Whatever you got to do to get this dang copy of this recording. Then you need to go to the federal registry site. You got to punch in the ME number. You got to confirm it, and you have to prove it somehow, which is vague in the regulations. Some people take screenshots. Some people write a note. Some people seal it. Some people just say, I got it. And then you need to order that MVR, and you got to remember to do it within 15 days to prove it and lock that in. And well, all those things are they're separate processes. So we thought, how can we make it so you do less? How can we make it so that you don't forget anything? And so if I come here back into Driver Hub, let's get rid of Mr. John, I'm gonna pull Mr. Ringo. So Mr. Ringo has been working for us for quite some time. And what you can see here, y'all, is your new Avatar assistant has sent a text to Mr. Ringo that said, hey, buddy, we just need a copy of your medical card. And he was a good boy, and he sent back an image of it. So you get notified that that happened. And next up is, there's that said image, come back here. And when I hit the old plus sign, I'm going to select that it is indeed a medical card. That's telling the Avatar assistant what to do.
And Scott, you breezed by there, but you hit a button that everyone who's an existing customer on this call will have access to at some point. But you hit a button that said next with AI Assist.
Sure did. Thank you.
That's right. Yeah.
And so what the AI Assist did was it read this nice handwritten document. You can see Drew's penmanship here. And so it read the expiration date, and we give you the confidence score so that we're not the drunk guy at the bar, that you can be, hey, this is how confident we are based on reading this. Drew has studied, again, on Friday nights, he's looking at medical cards. He's seen doctor's handwriting. He's seen multiple dates here, someone leaving notes. And it's stuff that a human goes, man, I don't really know what's going on there, right? So that's the confidence score, so we can tell you to bring attention to you. And then we read the national registry number, again, handwritten there, and pulled that and gave you a confidence score. And so then what the Avatar Assistant did was the little bot picked up, it went to the national registry site, it punched in that number in and took a screenshot and brought it back. So you can prove, and that was what we're thinking. We're thinking about audit day, or a plaintiff attorney comes knocking. How can you prove, who could refute a screenshot with a timestamp?
Absolutely.
So now that you've got that documentation, that third step was a MVR. And so what we have heard from our friends in compliance is that some states are more Johnny on the spot than others. And so you know your state and you know the states that you operate in, but we're at least going to allow you to stay legal and stay compliant. So that I'm setting the date of which the MVR is going to be ordered to give my state the time that they need. And when I do that, set that date, the Avatar system is going to automatically order it for you and give it into a queue for you to review.
So Scott, recapping what you just walked us through, we uploaded a medical card after the Avatar Assistant did the work for us to get it in via SMS message. We applied that OCR, again, the optical character recognition, to extract the handwriting. So those weren't even dates or, that wasn't a typed document, that was handwritten. We asked it a question. That question was, what is the expiration date? What's the ME number? We pre-populated those for you. And then we actually queued up the ability for you to say, when do you want to order that MVR? And the only interaction you need to do is, how good is your DMV is essentially what you're doing.
That's
so
right.
We're in Ohio, it's about 3 days, but so your mileage may vary. So, and hey, maybe your state's great, order right now.
Order right now, there's the button.
Yep.
And we've got that set up through our friends at Samba. That is ordered, comes back with a score, which sets up nicely, right? So here is just to finish the deal. That you described, there's the picture that I have as a record, and there is the screenshot, so that if time for audit or plaintiff attorney, you can export.
Can I audibly on you
Sure.
real quick, just to show we're not cheating on the demo? I just uploaded one that I spilled some coffee on, and I gave it the old ripperoo. Let's show this off to show that, hey, in a lab environment it works, but it also works in the real world. So there it is. There's the med card. It's the same one. I just let it have it. So we're not cheating.
Pretty cool. And we have tested this out on size 6 font, the one the driver's been sitting on for 10 years. Well, it's not good for 10 years, but you guys know what I'm saying. It's crinkled, nice butt juice on it, and it's reading that. So just from a scoreboard standpoint, what we wanted to show was we've done this just over 3,000 times and 80% accuracy of no touch. We're pretty proud of that when it comes to doctors' handwritings, because there are some gems of medical cards out there. And then I'm going to set the stage real quick on call it quick audible, and on what we're talking about MVRs, that what we do when I come to this page here, this upcoming expirations, these are records that are going to be expiring. And you can see here I've got 3 MVRs. And what we're here to say today is you don't have to worry about those anymore. The Avatar Assistant is going to run those 7 days before they expire. Your job is just to pay attention to notifications for when you have a pending MVR. And this can come from annual MVRs, and it can come from recruiting when they send the pre-hires for you to review if that's your job. And you'll have them because these MVRs are coming at different expiration dates, lining up with medical cards, lining up with pre-hire anniversary dates. The system will take care of that for you. And now you need to worry about one thing. What do I need to think about? And if you see here, I got 2 examples. One's clean, and there's one for you to take a look at. If it's clean, don't waste your brain cells. You can trust that between us and Samba, we're going to give you this right score, and there's no issues, no violations. I can go ahead and acknowledge this, take this off my to-do list, and that goes into the DQ file. A 2-click solution.
Scott, I'm noticing a theme. There's always a review and then a create. Is that intentional?
Sure is, because that be the regulations.
That's right. So Gemini can't be your reviewer. It's not written into the law yet. Maybe it will, we'll see. But right now we still put a human in the loop. So, and that is the crux of all this. AI and automation as a tool, not a replacement.
Correct. And so the exception of 15, let's take a peek. I can see the violation that would cause that. And now I can go, now I do the human activity, right? Whether is this a coach? Is this a fireable offense? Is it something in between? You as the human make that decision. But for those who are still even using integrated MVR mass ordering from us today, we can take that. That's a 15-click process. If you're starting from the stop and filtering down with the automated Avatar Assistant, that's 2 clicks. And so we've been trying this stuff out last quarter, and we had some people join our beta community. And James Watson from One Gas, when Drew talked with him, he was actually in the field, and he said, "This is great. I'm in the field more." He used to wake up and start his day taking care of all the paperwork. And this line I want to hit is he is now doesn't have to worry about cat herding as much. And so he's got automation of the communication. He's the screenshot with the medical examiner, ordering MVRs. He goes, this is all 15 minutes just per the medical card feature. He goes, now I'm able to get out, I can coach more drivers, I can inspect more trucks, I can be with the people and do the job I'm supposed to do, safety. We think we saw in a registrant, our friend Jennifer from Brenner out there, you have a similar thing as we talked through this 15 minutes when you take those 3 separate spots. So those are our friends in the beta community that have been trying this out before we get this. Drew is always looking for people that want to try out new stuff. If this seems fun and you want to be a part and behind the purple velvet rope, we'd love to have you. Drew's he's looking for friends.
We'll put my info at the end of the deck and we'll shoot it around to everyone.
So for those who are customers on this call today, Drew and I have the pleasure of being Oprah. If you check underneath your seats right now, the Avatar Assistant is now live. So it's live for everyone that's on this call right now, as of right now. And the rest of our customers who are on this call will get it at the end of the month, which is like right now, anyways, 2 days from now. So thank you all for who was a part of helping us build this and test all these things out. This journey will only continue and go faster for what's available with the tech. And with the time that we have today, I just want to talk about what are you going to do with the time. But I have one more present for y'all as I have my Oprah vibe on, and that is roster syncs. And so we kept hearing that I have to manage 6 systems. I would then say, really sucks adding name, phone number, address. And so if you have systems you want us to integrate with, we're saying yes. We're starting with Samsara is one that we were building towards. But if you have a dispatching system, a payroll system, send it our way. The whole goal is syncing rosters so that you don't have to do that. And so now the question for you to stew on here in the minute we have left is, what do you do with half a person back? And so I was taught at a young age that compliance does not equal safety. Compliance is following rules and regulations that are intended to make the road safer, but they can bog you down. And so where the rubber truly meets the road, pun intended, is when you can coach more and discipline less. Discipline means the action happened. When you can live in 329.1, the 300 unsafe events that cause 29 minor incidents that cause the one big one. That's our theory, that if you can coach before that big one happens, that's how you reduce your insurance costs, your claims, your accidents. And when you put it all together, our customers that are doing that, that's how you give more love to your drivers and you get less accidents so that you can grow your fleet while your accidents per million miles goes down. And so once again, thank you all for joining. If you're a customer, this is now officially live as of during this presentation. For the rest of y'all, it'll be done at the end of the month. And if you want to help us build more cool stuff, call Drew.
And if you're joining as a prospect and want to see a demo, we're happy to reach out. We'll be in contact.
Thank you all for your time.
And folks, if you would like to stay on and ask questions, Scott and Drew will be available. You can just use the question and answer tool down at the bottom of your Zoom panel and type in your question. We'll be happy to field them as they come in.
Drew, there's a couple come in for people that want to stay for overtime. What did you have come in during the presentation?
We've got, what is the pricing for this?
Yeah, so for existing customers, no extra charge. This is the Avatar system. This is just us constantly improving and making the product better.
Okay, we've also got one here. What other records does this align with? Scott, I'll field that one. Today, it's the driver's license and the medical card that we're doing the extraction from. We've automated quite a few records as we touched on, but we are all ears for what to do next. We've got a few things on the roadmap that we're excited to kind of roll out in the future, but if you have an idea, let us know.
Did any others come in?
We just had one question come in regarding recording. Everyone, you will be sent this recording of the webinar post-webinar, so just stay tuned to your inbox for that to come through.
All right.
That, I think our work here is done.
We have two more here. Drew, Scott, how many regulatory consultants does Avatar employ? And then do we still have to verify the NRCME?
Yeah, so let's start with the verification of the NRCME. The answer is yes through June 23rd. So you do need to verify. Interestingly enough, that document is expiring. We actually reached out to the FMCSA. They said keep doing it, even though the record, the 5876, is expiring, it's still in scope. So God love the FMCSA.
I'll take the first one about how many regulatory consultants do we employ. So we have a director of professional services that leads that group that stays on top of the regulations. And then unlike the AI overconfident, we have a army of consultants that we keep in the bullpen that are experts at each level. Here's things we know. You can't know everything. So we have go-to consultants in the school bus space that are go-to consultants in hazmat, motor coach, and then there's different state requirements. So our friends in New York have to manage 19A, California has SPAB, and so this is just a lot for one person to know. And so what we do is we tap local resources or specialists that we've built over the years of doing this. We've been doing this for 12 years, and one of my business partners, Garner's been doing this since before I was alive back in the 70s. And so we tap those Rolodexes as needed based on the specialization of our customers.
Awesome.
Good questions. Any more questions to come through?
All right. Well, don't be shy if something hits you in the shower later today or as you're driving home. Send us a note as a part of the replying to the registration, and we'll be happy to answer those. So once again, thank you all for joining us on this exciting journey. We're just scratching the surface, and as Drew said, wait till next week. And what Jim and I said was the coolest. Someone else, Claude or Meta, or someone's going to say, well, we did this better, and it's just the arms race right now. So the question is, don't get caught up in the hype. Don't think it's too scary. Yes, and put guardrails around it.
That's it.
Be responsible with AI.
Awesome. Thanks, folks.
Thanks, y'all.